to the Niners. And look at this every week. Every week now, we get the lovely Dave Richard, who he and I talked before the show and decided today was Blue Day.
There you go.
Chris did too. Chris is wearing blue.
Sorry. Yeah, I missed the memo.
From CBS Sports, in my opinion, maybe biased, the greatest fantasy football mind in the world.
You know what? It's actually factual.
I saw the awards.
Yep.
One, it's in Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Dave Richard joins us. Good morning.
So good that I had Mike Gesicki ranked top 5 and Zay Flowers top 12. And not so good. Yeah, like what, 2-3 times a year, Dave, I need to step into your office and lay on the couch and just vent a little bit about the trials and tribulations of being a fantasy football guy. And while I was reminded of it on our podcast, we just finished it. Process over results is very important when it comes to why you start somebody in fantasy. And we had seen this tendency where every time T. Higgins had been out, Mike Gesicki had good games. And he had a bunch of targets every single time. And he did on Thursday. And he just couldn't do anything with it. He had a chance at a touchdown, couldn't bring it in. He had another target just in front of the end zone, caught that one, couldn't get into the end zone. And so, things like that happen, and it just annoys me because Joe Burrow goes out and he has a monster game in a favorable matchup. We knew Burrow was going to do well, and Gesicki can't do better than 7 PPR points. It makes me want to, put a hole in the wall, but I can't do that. It's not my wall, so I can't do it. But it's just very frustrating that a plan comes together and the opportunity's there, and the player just can't go through, and especially when it's a player like Gesicki, who has just fooled us time and time again.
Angry Dave Richard.
This reminds me
hasn't really caught on to these moments that I've had with you over the years, Dave.
This reminds me a little of a conversation we had. Golly, Dave, I don't remember the player and I don't remember the call you made, but there was a player that was high on your rankings and he didn't do well. And I think I asked you something like, how do you deal with when you make a call and, people listen, they trust you, and then that player doesn't work out? I think I said something like, have you learned through the years to not take that personal and them's the breaks, or does it get you? And then we ended up just getting into, I think the whole rest of the show was the psychology of how literally guilty you feel and how you obsess on it and how you can't stand failure. And I think we had a really good talk, if you remember this, Dave, because I think the conclusion we came to for you was your job is to look at the trends, these overall variables, in other words, players, and give everybody the best chance based on trends and odds to be successful, but you have zero control about game-to-game, day-to-day, play-to-play decisions, weather, play calls, hot, not, jammed finger, whatever. So you just have to do your best job from 50,000 feet, knowing that from ground level, occasionally you're going to miss, which everybody does.
Fair. And that is my job. And I think I do that part of my job well. I don't have any regrets or anything about that. I definitely put in the time and the work. And the thing you didn't mention, the tendencies of each defense and offense. And that comes by watching the games. And then we've got data from every single team in the league about what they do, what type of defense they play, how often they get pressure on the quarterback, the things that really tend to matter and the things that coaches look at when they devise their game plans from week to week. And so it's not like the Bengals, and this is just me trying to make myself feel better, and anybody who started Gesicki too. It's not like the Bengals said, all right, we're going to get away from Mike Gesicki, and we're not going to use him this week. They tried. Burrow tried. They tried to make it happen, and it was a different tight end that ended up having the better game. So I guess, Dave, it is one of those things.
It is one of those things.
Well, you were saying about process over results. So what are your process or your processes? I don't know if that's the right term.
Processes.
For Christian McCaffrey this week.
Well, I'm certainly know how talented he is, and I know that this is an awesome offense to have a running back in. And everyone from John Lynch to Kyle Shanahan seems to be optimistic that he's going to have a chance to play, and hopefully there are no setbacks. And so I look at the matchup. Tampa Bay's run defense has been terrible over the last 3 games. Kareem Hunt just looked like an all-star against them. And then I've made this analogy. I think you guys are wrestling fans. This is like when a wrestler enters the Royal Rumble at number 30. All the wrestlers in the ring are tired. They've been in the ring for a while. Some of them have been in the ring since, the number one guy in. And here comes Christian McCaffrey at number 30, fresh as a daisy, ready to go. And I think those fresh legs, presuming that he's okay, can make a huge difference in this game. So the only thing that it's holding me back is, does he re-injure himself? Does Jordan Mason play a little bit more? What happens if it's a blowout? Of course, if it's a blowout, then McCaffrey would be a part of it. So I've got him ranked in unfamiliar territory, Jason. I've got him 13th. But this might be the last time this year we see Christian McCaffrey ranked that low.
So Jason and I both watch wrestling like when we were kids, but we're not big wrestling fans. Chris, our producer, he is a huge wrestling fan. I want to try. I kind of understood your analogy. I think I did. Let me see if I can
have watched a Royal Rumble at some point.
Yeah. Let me see if I can translate it into a different wrestling analogy, and you guys tell me if this also works. So are you saying Christian McCaffrey is like the tag team partner that's been tagged out, and he's watching his partner get the crap beat out of him the whole time, and then the partner like crawls over to the turnbuckle thingy and finally reaches out and like taps a finger to the guy who's been out the whole time, and then he jumps in the ring and like beats the hell out of both the other team guys and the manager and a couple people in the front row, and he just goes absolutely berserk because he's been watching his guy get beat up the whole time? Does that also match what you're saying a little?
A little.
You tried, Dave.
I tried.
But the point is the same. Guy who's fresh. And, when you play in the National Football League, you get beat up pretty bad every week. And this is a guy who hasn't been beat up in 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Travis Etienne, what do I do with him?
You bench him. Desperation starter at best. This is a Jacksonville offense that's without Trevor Lawrence this week. Oh, and they're playing Minnesota. So Mac Jones is going to be under pressure. This is one of the things that I look at, and the Vikings blitz quite a bit, that he's going to have a hard time. He's going to have to get that ball out fast. Maybe that would help Etienne if we knew that Etienne was going to play a lot. How about this? Jacksonville was in their game last week against Philadelphia in the fourth quarter. You know who the running back on the field was late?
Not him.
Not Etienne, not Tank Bigsby either. It was Dearness Johnson. So if you're starting a Jaguars running back, good luck.
Okay, because dude, my by the way, this is just we're talking about my fantasy team here, but I'm hoping other people can relate. My reserve running backs are Josh Jacobs, Zamir White, Jordan Ford, and Zach Moss. And 3 of them are on buys, and Moss is hurt.
Zach Moss is on IR. I don't know why he's still on your team.
I don't because I'm stupid. So yeah, I might be. I'm praying for ATN, dude.
Can you maybe see if Tyjae Spears is on your waiver wire, Dave?
Tyjae Spears. This is in the old man league, so I can pretty much promise
they're all
you.
gone.
So
they're all scooped up.
They're all gone. Let's see. Tyjae Spears is available.
There you go.
He's available.
You can't drop Moss because he's already played.
Oh, what? All right. I'm going to
find somebody else to drop. Pick up Tyjae Spears. He would be your emergency go-to. I'd start him over Etienne.
I'm going to drop. I think I'll drop Washington. I've got Washington's defense. I think I'll drop the Cowboy defense.
Fine. You're not using them. How many defenses do you have?
I have 2.
Okay.
6.
We need to find you another defense. I don't know if your man defense is that good either.
Jason, save me.
All right. Well, let's see if we can help some more out there. We've got some that are coming in on our chat line. Let's see, Dave. Can Kyler or Baker this week?
I've got Baker over Kyler as of now. That's another matchup that I need to review with Kyler, but he's very, very spotty this year, as anybody that has Kyler knows. Whereas Baker, without his wide receivers, Jason, the past couple of weeks, still at least 22 fantasy points in each game. I know he's taking on the Niners. It's a tough matchup for him. I kind of believe in Baker a little bit more.
Okay, here's a couple more. Sam Darnold or Brock Purdy?
Like them both a lot this week. I think they could both have very good games. Darnold 1 spot ahead of Purdy.
And then Otten or Kincaid?
Otten, top 3 fantasy tight end. The dude's been playing like a low-end number 1 wide receiver the past 2 weeks.
I thought Otten or Kincaid was a wide receiver for the University of Tennessee. Dave, one of the reasons I love you One of the many reasons I do love you, and we go back a long way, and you've served our listeners well over the years, is that I know, how do I say this? I'm guessing our families are very similar in this aspect, and maybe I'm taking a leap, in that guilt is a real thing. And I always appreciate that you, like, when I go to start or sit a guy, here's my research. I look at whether or not the team they're playing has like the green ranking or the red ranking next to them. And then I pick the one with the green ranking. You're watching everything. You're talking to people. You're going over game film. You're looking at trends. You're crunching numbers. I know that I'm not telling you anything out of school here. You're going to have some really horrible calls in the future. But what I love about you is A, you own them, and B, they're far from consistently bad. You're one of the best advice guys in the entire fantasy football world. I hate that you take it so personally, but that's also probably why you're really good at your job.
Well, maybe. I strive to be the best that I can. And, just like on this show, a focused, detail-oriented host who brings it every single day, comes through, and is wonderful and serves his community well. And that's Jason Ross. And I appreciate
That's right.
Yes.
I knew that's where he was going,
Dave.
and I appreciate it. Now, where can people watch your where can people see you today, hear you, and get your advice?
We will be on CBS Sports Network. You can check your local listings. I think we might be at 9:30 your time today, but usually it's 10 a.m. out there in Cali. And then also on YouTube, search for Fantasy Football Today. We just got done recording part 2 of our Week 10 starts sits. That's right. We break it up into 2 parts every single week, so you can hear my analysis along with the rest of the Fantasy Football Today crew. Not just this week, but every week on YouTube for free. Like and subscribe to the Fantasy Football Today podcast.
Oh, God, last thing. I have CeeDee Lamb. What do I do?
Oh, crap.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, crap. There's your analysis.
That'll work.
How much time do I have, Dave?
Okay. I'm screwed. All right, look, we'll watch you, we'll read you, we'll listen, and we'll talk to you next week. Thank you, brother.
Think of Lamb as a number 2 receiver this week.
No, yeah, number 2 receiver. In more ways than one. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
Have a good week,
Guys.
Dave Richard joining us. We'll take a break. Quick 30-second break, everybody, unlike the 20-minute breaks we've had in the past.